Previously on the Frontier Farmer. We have rather nicely improved the state of the ground around the log cabin, but the main news this morning is that our oats are ready to harvest. I think we are going to be saying bye-bye to the Fortrit harvester, our new equipment, our new harvester, new header. Whilst we are harvesting, the straw that's deposited is going to get dispensed into that back section and it's going to turn it into bales for us. Now I think the horses will be pleased. Right, let's get this ferried between the two locations, and there we go. Now we are mulching, and we can see it is making a nice mulched effect. Tiny little sprinkle there, and that's the last of the manure spreading. Mulched, straw embedded cultivation. Ta-da! Now that's painted up very nicely, and we can tip the oats in nicely like that. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Frontier Farmer at the Dark Forest. We are now in September, which means we skipped August entirely, and the reason for that is because we didn't have any jobs available to us on the frontier. But good news is that our 2 calves are now born, so we've got a total of 4 cows, which is fantastic. But what is bad news is we have run out of this batch of TMR. So if I jump in the farm and fire it up, we only have another 30 litres to deposit in there, which is a minuscule amount. So we will need to do another batch of TMR, but I'm going to have to save that job for the end of the day because we have 2 fields of sorghum ready to harvest. And that was part of the reason why we skipped August and wound ourselves up into September, is so that we had 2 fields to harvest at once. And also another reason is Burfield, where we harvest our oats previously. We wanted to drill wheat or barley in that and couldn't drill wheat or barley because we actually needed to wait till September before drilling that. So yeah, it's a good thing that we did wait, and it means that we can drill all of our 3 fields at once. So I'm going to put the mixing wagon over by the silage bunker. We will come back to that later today. And I have bought a new water barrel, which I'm going to use to hopefully give the animals their water a little bit easier. Here it is, the new water barrel. I think it is of the Lizard brand. We can see which one it is. Yep, Lizard Classic Barrel for water. So we'll get that hitched up. And the only animals that we need to give water to are the cows, because I've been readily topping up the other animals through August to September. So if we back up here, we should be able to deposit water to the cows. Fantastic. There we go, they actually took quite a lot, but that's okay because we've got taps next to all of the animals. And in fact, I think we actually did need to top up the horses, so let's get the gate open. There we go, we have given the horses some water and topped up the barrel as well. Much easier reversing this trailer than the dollied one. We can park that up there for now, and I'm going to jump in the AMT so we can give the horses another batch of oats. And we can fetch the oats from the silo. And we can see our lovely orange sorghum that's ready to harvest. There we go, full of oats. So let's get this to the horses. Get out, guys. Watch out for me. Right, if we back up in here, should be able to give them their oats. And they've taken the whole lot again. So that should keep the horses happy for now, but we better close the gate so they don't escape. Fantastic. Right, it's time to get ready for harvest. So we'll need the combine, our fantastic new SK Rostelmash Neva, and we'll also need the tractor and trailer to unload to. Back in the trusty farm wall, and we can hitch the trailer. And I think we'll position this between the two fields, so we can do 2 in 1, so to speak. There it is, our fantastic new harvester. Look forward to using it again, but it's not going to be used to its full potential because sorghum does not have any straw as byproduct, so we will not be getting the benefit of baling any straw whilst we harvest. But we can park this here, which is going to be in a good position for both fields. Better get the cover off. There we go, fired back into life. And we didn't attach the header last time because we were working to paint the header trailer that we had because it was a portrait blue, and we've now painted it red so it matches. And of course we were going to be using the harvester again fairly soon, so just kept the header on for ease. So it's over to sorghum, and yep, we've waited till September so both fields were ready. We drilled the 2 fields a month apart, so the field number 4, where we had to spray and we actually made some tram lines in the field, was ready to harvest first last month in August, but field number 3 was not ready, so hence why we've waited. And that means that because we've got Burfield ready to drill as well, we can get all 3 fields drilled today if all goes to plan. So we're going to go this way round, so we've got the pipe on the outside in case we need to unload whilst we're on the way round. But we should be able to fire into action. Lower the header and get on in and start harvesting. So I'm going to see to this, and I'll see you when we've got both fields harvested. Last slither captured, and we've got 94% in the hopper, which is pretty lucky. But I wasn't very lucky on one of the previous runs because I did indeed max out the harvester, and then we ended up stopping the harvester and running through the crop still, so we damaged a little bit. And I'm now sat at 81% with 2,457 litres in the harvester, and we've got a full trailer. So I am going to jump out of the harvester. We will hop in the tractor. Got 8,200 litres in here, and I'm going to run over to the silo. But before we deposit, I am going to check how much we've got in the silo, because that is how much we got from our first field, field number 4. And yeah, field 3 is a little bit bigger, and we didn't have any tram lines in it, so we're certainly going to get more from the third field. But it'll be interesting to compare the two. So sorghum, we've got 7,378 litres from field number 4, the first field that we harvested. So that's not too shabby for the size and for the fact that they had tram lines. So we've got 8,200 in here, plus what's left in the hopper. So let's get this deposited in here. Ooh. We couldn't unload the trailer, so I'm guessing that means that the silo is full. So I've just had to place a silo extension that costs us 5,100, but we can now deposit the rest of our sorghum. So let's move the trailer out of the way, and I'm going to see if we can deposit our harvester hopper directly into the silo, because that would be quite handy for the future. Look out, chickens. So we can quickly cut across the field like so, and hopefully get the pipe out far enough that we can then unload directly into the silo. Aha, it is doing so. That is pretty handy. There we go, that's all deposited. So we'll see how much we've got in total. 18,036. So that means that we had probably around, just over 10,000 litres from our field number 3, our second field that we harvested. So that's pretty good news. And that is going to keep the chickens and horses fed for a long time. And we're also going to be drilling some wheat and barley, which is going to be good for the chickens. And the plan is to hopefully try and make enough feed this year that we can concentrate on other crops next year. So I've hopped in the AMT and I'm going to grab the header trailer so we can unload the header and get the harvester parked up. Here it is. The paint has dried, so that is very good news. Right, we've got it, so let's see if we can make this turn and hopefully get the header deposited on there quite neatly. Pull forward and we can pop it off. Okay, that's sitting on there pretty nicely. So we'll back the harvester up to the shed, and then our AMT is going to be a handy little runner for the header trailer. So this is the last harvest of the season, so we'll give the new Neva a little bit of a service, make sure it's all good before we mothball it over winter. Obviously brand new, so not too much to service on that. And we can give it a quick wash as well. Make sure it's not going to have any mud drying on it over the winter period. So that's serviced and washed. I'm not going to top it up with fuel because that could potentially make more stale fuel over winter if it's going to be sitting. But yeah, it's looking nice and rosy. And been very, very good, this Neva. I'm very impressed with it. I think we'll nickname it Nippy. Nippy the Nippy Neva. Fantastic. Neva Diva. Back in the AMT so we can get this backed up a little bit and go and stash it in the shed next to the Neva. Okay, that's going to neatly tuck in there. Now the red I had for the trailer is not the exact red, but it's close enough, I feel. Right. Oh, I think we are stuck on the hitch. Oh dear. There we go. Nothing a little manhandling can't fix. So we have a smaller turning circle here now, thanks to the silo extension. So we may well have to increase the driving sphere. But that's the trailer dropped off, and I don't know why I turned the farm wall off, because we are going to need it for the next job. And the next job is mulching both of the fields that we've just harvested. Sorghums do leave quite a tall stalk, so this is going to be a worthwhile job to get the extra yield bonus for the next crop we put in there. And yeah, the mulcher is not here. We stashed it in the other shed over the other side of the yard. And the farm wall's the best machine for pulling the mulcher, so we're going to be using it for both fields. And then we'll jump in the international, because after we've mulched we are going to be manure spreading field 4 and 3. So mulching and manure spreading. Here is the mulcher. Right, we've unfolded it and got it in the using position. I just need to fold in the arm. There we go. And we can switch on and lower away. And we're going to go the opposite way to where we harvested. This way. So I'm going to get this all mulched and see you when we've done both fields. Looping round for the last bit, and that is us all mulched. Fantastic. Right, we will take this back to the shed. It's looking a little bit dirty, so we'll perhaps give it a service and a wash. So let's get the transporting hitch out, and then we can get it folded away properly. Giving it a quick service, but we will wash it, make sure it's nice and clean for winter as well. And I think that was the last thing we needed the farm wall for today. So we'll give that a wash as well. Don't think it's had a wash in a long time, if at all. Looking brand spanking clean. And I can't believe that we found this when we started out on the frontier. Fantastic tractor it's been. Right, we want the international and the manure spreader. I think that is round near the hayloft. Right, we've got 40% in here already. And luckily our dovecote has been busy converting straw into manure. And the straw came from the oat field, burr field that we harvested. I've just filled up the trailer and we've got 20,000 litres of manure left and 8,000 litres of straw left to process. So pretty good. Right, we'll head over to our first field, field number 4, get that manure spread, and then move swiftly on to field number 3. And once they are both done, we can get straight into drilling all 3 fields. We won't need to cultivate these fields because the drill can direct drill. And luckily we did cultivate burr field, and that has kept the weeds away from that. So yeah, let's get this manure spread, and then we can get on to drilling. Last slither done, and you'll notice that where we damaged the crop, and this is where we ran out of hopper space and drove through the crop, the texture is not changing. So yeah, I think it's still counting as manure being spread, but it's not updating the nice texture. So we've still got a bit of mulching in there, and we have discovered a hay bale that we dragged out from the grass edge. So that has been there since we baled many moons ago when we had the old, I think it was a portrait baler. So luckily we've got the hay loft just here, and we can drop that in to the hopper. In fact, we can probably play a bit of bale basketball. Oh, got stuck in the rim. How disappointing. There we go. All got sucked in there. That's fantastic. So we can park up the manure spreader, and we are running out of daylight now, but I want to get our crops drilled. So we'll grab the drill, make sure we're topped up with seed and fertilizer, and then I'm going to go for wheat, barley and canola in the 3 fields because that's what we can drill in September. And yeah, it's sort of the late season crops that end up growing through the winter and into next year. Canola is going to be a cash crop for us, and we could even look to put it in the windmill and turn it into oil, although I think we still have some oil up there, which I don't think we've actually sold yet. So yeah, there could be some cash ready and waiting for us to use. I'm doing a terrible job of backing up this manure spreader, but yep, we can look to sell canola directly or turn it into oil and sell at some point next year. Right, seed drill attached. We can get the cover open, and we've got plenty of seed and solid fertilizer in the commodity storage to fill it up. Go, fert topped up as well, and that seed has lasted a long time from when we did quite a large batch of seed production when we had sorghum previously in the cement mixer. Right, so I think I'm going to do wheat in burr field, barley in field number 4, and then canola in field number 3, which is our biggest field. So let us change to wheat. There we go. And we can get to drilling. And as mentioned, we cultivated burr field, and that has kept the weeds away, which is pretty good for us. Means we haven't got to drive through loads of weeds and turn them in as we are drilling. So let's lower away. Actually, before we start, I just want to check that all the fields are at the right status. So all 3 fields are showing mulched, which is what we want. And if we take that off, we can see that we've got them all at the single level of fertilization, apart from the tram lines where field number 4, they obviously didn't use the secondary level of fertilization because the crops got damaged before they actually grew to their full potential. But that is good. So we will apply the secondary level of fertilizer with our drill. So we can lower away and get started. And in goes our wheat. And then we'll move straight on to the barley and then straight on to canola. See you when we're finished. Few final specs just seen to at the end there, and that's our 3 fields drilled. Bare field with wheat, field 4 with barley, and field number 3 with canola finally, and that is pretty good going. So I'm going to give the drill a wash. That's the last drilling we're going to have to do for this year. I imagine we'll have to do some more next year once we've harvested those 3 crops, and who knows, if we create another field we will of course have to use the drill to put in whatever we are going to put in there, and at some stage we might have to actually get a planter if we're going to do some other crops like corn or sunflower. Now that we've got a harvester that can have different headers attached to the front, and we could get a corn header, it is really widening up the scope of what we can grow. Right, that's looking pretty clean, so we'll just take it over to the little garage point and get it serviced up and parked away. Alright, that's dropped off, and we can park the International in here for now as well. We'll close some of the gates just to make sure the animals are not going to be doing any escaping acts. But there we go, that was a busy September. 2 fields harvested, sorghum using our Neva, and then 2 fields mulched, manure spread, and then 3 fields drilled, which is pretty good going. So now that our fields are drilled, I think we're going to have some weeding come up next time, because we didn't do any ploughing, so all 3 fields are going to need a little bit of a work with our new weeder, which is fine. And we are also going to have to create some TMR for the cows to keep them well fed. And then we'll have to start thinking about some winter projects. Right, that is it for today. I hope you have enjoyed watching. If you have, remember to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you've got any tips, tricks or things you'd like me to do, then feel free to leave a comment. All there's left to say is, I hope to see you again next time on The Frontier Farmer, and until then, I'll catch you later. Cheers all, and bye bye.